Hey, how you doing? Cold music here. Ish. Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of videos this weekend just because. Um, this is the last mode of our series that we're going to go over for this, and I'll keep making videos on it just because I think it's important. This one is Locrian. Let's say we're in G. Here's the order of the modes and the scale of G major scale, and they're built upon each mode. I think I talked about it in the first video, but G major, A Dorian, B Phrygian, C Lydian, D Mixolydian, E natural minor or Aeolian, and then F sharp Locrian. Nope, yeah. And then back to major. Locrian's kind of odd. Actually, I tell you what, believe we started this in G, but if you know your G major scale, you add one note and you've got Locrian. So if you've worked on the first lesson, add that F sharp, has a half step right off the bat, minor second, I guess, or yeah. And a minor third. I never, when I started out and learning this, I'm like, I don't know what you use it for. And my teacher was like, well, it's a minor 7 flat 5, but you'll never see it. And true enough, I guess, if you're not looking for it. But, and really, it goes hand in hand with that chord, but there's other places it can be used too, so let's stay tuned for that. So let's say if I'm playing a B, or we'll just do it here, a B minor 7 flat 5 chord, which on the A string rut looks like this, or sounds like this. It's sometimes called half diminished, or a minor 7, so it's got a 7th, and it's a flat 5, so the 5th degree of that chord is flatted. So normally chords like bar chords like this, but the 5th of that chord is flatted, so it has this tritone. And then it's got a 7th, and it's a minor, so it's got a minor 3rd. So a lot going on in the chord. There's the rut, there's the flat 5, there's the 7th degree of it, the flatted 7th, and then a minor 3rd in there. So, very cool chord. B minor up here with a E bass note would be, I use my, actually this one I make with my first finger on the A string, second finger on the G string of the 2nd fret. And then my 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the D string. My pinky is tucked under here on the B string on the 3rd fret. Another way to make that chord with the root note on the E string, here's a B note. It will be, it's all on the, E string is the 7th, D string is the 7th, and G string is the 7th fret. And then on my first finger's hitting, here's the 5th degree of that scale, which is your F sharp. It actually slips down to an F, a half step down. That's our 5th. F should be an F sharp, but F. So it's 2nd finger, 3rd finger on the 7th of the A and, the E and the D. My pinky, once again, is tucked under here for the G string on the 7th. I'm not playing the A string. My first finger is on the 6th fret of the B string. Very cool chord. And then here's the other bass note. Here is the D string. There's a B note. And here is my the F note, there's that flat 5 tritone, and this is on, so first finger's on the 9th, 10th fret for the G, B, and E string. Now it's interesting to note, I will point this out, and this is pretty interesting. If I were to add my second finger to, let's say, the A string, I have a G ninth chord. But if it's just my first finger here on the D string, it's a minor 7 flat 5. So very close. And why is that gonna come into play here? I'll tell you in a minute. Watch this. Well, let's do the scale pattern. It goes like this. Here, oh, sorry, let's do it over here. We're gonna do it in B. Here's the scale pattern in B. So it's a B minor 7 flat 5. The reason being is because we're doing a jam track in B Locrian by Youjam. These guys are cool. This is one of my favorite jam tracks that we've done in our series. It's really cool. I'll explain to you why when we're doing it. But anyways, so here's the fingering. Sorry, 7, 8, 10, or B, C, D. Now it's a C major scale because it's the 7th degree, built upon the 7th degree of whatever major scale. So really it's right next door. So here's our relative major is C. So really, if you know your C major scale, add one note or your 7th degree, and it has such a radical different sound. Obviously, it's got the minor third or minor second, this little interval in the beginning, similar to our Phrygian, and then it's got the A string would be 7, 8, 10. D string is 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10 on the G string. And I'm using my first, third, and fourth fingers. And then the B string is 8th fret, 10th fret, and then I back up to my first finger on the 7th fret of the E string. I could keep going. Because of the fact it's such a distinct chord, or distinct scale, it's used on a distinct chord, the minor 7 flat 5. I really never came up and dealt with it until I started playing some jazz stuff in college and later. But here's where, if I take that B note and I play that minor 7 flat 5, it sounds so good on it. As I said, we're in C as the parent scale or the relative major, and the 2nd degree of C is D. Well, that's a D Dorian mode. Well, watch this. From the scale pattern I showed you earlier for Dorian in another video, it goes right here, D Dorian. Well, within that Dorian mode is a Locrian. There's the chord. And as I said, if it were in C and you're going to play a 9th chord, an E9, it's part of that 9th chord. Or sorry, duh. In C, the 5th is G, so it's a G9. Once again, that little scale pattern, section of scale pattern of the Dorian that we used for that lesson, works. So, or I could play it up here. Also works over the G. So it's kind of neat if you want to think of this scale pattern or the Locrian. It will work in a blues context over that 5 chord. Very beautiful. Anyways, what else to say about it? We're gonna play it with this jam track, and it starts. It's just got 2 chords, pretty easy, and it's easy to work out some ideas and things to keep in mind that I'll point out is over this little jam track of just 2 chords. It's a B minor 7 flat 5 to a G7. I'll do some arpeggios and I'll do some soloing. Once again, we're thinking C, D Dorian, so on and so forth. Some of our other lessons will come in handy. A minor, natural minor, and it'll be G Lydian, F Lydian. There's that F. There's our flat. That note's very important to that F. What else will work? A minor, natural minor, obviously, or A minor arpeggios. E minor. D minor. So let me play the track. Here we go. Now, if we're going to think Locrian, let's one of the things that makes that highly unusual is that first 2 notes. So let's try it. It's cool. Oh, special thanks to Youjam. They highlight what chords being played. So, and what I kind of want you to do is try to close your eyes and hear that chord, hear the next chord, hear that chord, hear next chord. Also, when you, I think I mentioned this before, is close your eyes when you're doing that scale pattern. Part of the reason is, this is silly teacher stuff, but you're not so much trying to make it look good under your fingers. When you're starting out, because you're visualizing where your fingers are, but try, after you're done with that, stop looking at your fingers and hear the note, really. And one of the ways to increase your hearing, I should probably say this in more videos, is to close your eyes. You'll hear better with your eyes closed. And you'll hear the scale notes, the mode notes against the chord better. One of the things we want to outline right off the bat is our B minor 7 5 chord, B minor 7 flat 5 chord, and our G7 chord. So let's do that. Here we go. Here we go. Here's that 7 flat 5. Here's that G7. There's a G, B, a G. There's a G7. Here's that little trick I was telling you about. I'll stop the run on the 7th of G. There's that 7th of G. should have probably stopped on B. That B. Now watch this on over this jam track. Watch this. We're going to try an F major chord or F major arpeggio. Goof around with this. D minor. A. Sorry, G major. There's that seventh of G. A minor. There's that B. B. There's that little Locrian pattern. There's a G. G. B. G. There's G. B. There's G. There's B. B. Throw some chords in there. Here's a G minor. Here's a seventh chord, G. There's the B minor 7 flat 5. What if I just play the bottom three notes of it? G7. A minor. A minor's in C. Minor 7th. But I'm ending on the B. E minor. D7. A minor. G. F. I'm playing F major 7 because that's the 4th degree chord. So have fun. This track is wide open because of the fact that we're only using really 2 chords. Outline some of the chords. Doing stuff like this, exercises like this, it's my dog shaking. It's the tip of the iceberg. Theoretically, you should start to superimpose these other triads on over your progression. You'll have some unusual things happen. You'll hear some unusual things. And start to explore what other scales are within the pattern you're working with. For instance, if I look at G within C, it would be G Mixolydian. Well, if I start it on the B note, which is the 2nd fret, that's really a B Locrian. Just as if I started on the C note, it's a C major. So, kind of what I'm telling you is that, okay, if you've gone through the trouble to learn all this stuff and to memorize your fingerings for seven different modes of the major scale, or 6 different modes, I don't know, whatever, 7 different patterns, sorry, I'm tired, 7 different patterns, you really know more than that, you really do. Because you have to start saying the notes, understanding the notes, understanding what patterns lie within, and it should start help you out start making sense. And it should lend importance to what notes are where. I really feel the best way to learn the fretboard is to start doing some of this stuff while maybe working with some music, where you need to know where all your B's are. Here's my B. B, 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 B. B. So I can start on, if need be. So, if you're even doing jazz studies and working on jazz standards or chord melody stuff with jazz, you'll start to see or start to understand where the notes are and understanding where to start these scale exercises. There's more to come. I'm gonna make a couple more videos to tie it all together and to show you some other tricks, because it's all about the tricks here. And to expound upon some of the playing with these jam tracks. As I said before, these jam tracks they're not the be all and end all, and they really aren't, but they will provide you another way to play in time, because you have to play in time. Well, you don't have to, or you can work against the time, and that's what you're doing when you're practicing with a metronome. When I was a kid, we didn't have jam tracks. We just played to records. But realistically, when I did study scales, I was just working with a metronome, which can get really tedious. But that's the way we had to do it. You could practice these modes with the jam tracks, and you'll still be in time. Here, what are you gonna listen to? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. I love how this sounds. It sounds so cool. It opens up different areas for you to experiment when you hear things in context. Yeah, you could sit there, and I've seen some people talk, oh yeah, just play a chord and then play the scale. Yeah, that's a great way, but it's almost more advanced. But for the beginner, just playing 2 chord changes, it's on a jam track, let it run and play that. It's more rewarding. I'm not saying the other kind of practice isn't important, because it hugely is. I really feel one of the things Joe Pass excelled at, and I think if I read correctly, Father would play a chord and tell him, hey, what scale goes with this? And he probably did that so much that when you listen to him play, he's actually outlining chords when he's playing, and chord changes. It's phenomenal. He's one of my heroes. And he's amazing, and that really is the final step in this whole process, if you want to take it that far. If you don't, it's no big deal. There's other cool things you could do, some of which fit with rock, and I'll show you some tricks, but well, I'm done blabbing. Let's play out some. Oh, okay. This is B minor to G7. Let's see what pentatonic works. As I mentioned before, that we can play a pentatonic over the G maybe. Let's see if it works. go back and forth between that. As you said. All right, have fun, most importantly, and experiment, goof around. I'll expound probably in other videos and different things I talked about here, especially that little trick with a ninth chord. Look at a ninth chord more than just being a ninth chord, but rather than within it lies your minor 7 flat 5 chord. It's a really important lesson. I'll show you how that will work in a couple blues setting videos, but till then, catch you later. Have fun. Bye.